The San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute is presented by H-E-B and brought to you by Michelob Ultra, Valero, Thomas J. Henry, USAA, AT&T, the PM Group, Corporate Travel Planners, and Sinclair San Antonio.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute presented by H-E-B. You know, each year since 1995, San Antonio Sports, along with the Express News in the city of San Antonio, inducts a new class. For over 25 years, this has been a black tie gala, but in the interest of safety, we're bringing this special evening to a wider audience right here, and we're glad you're with us. Over the next hour, we will look back at some great moments from previous inductees, and we will welcome the class of 2020 into the hall. This is also the largest fundraiser for San Antonio sports and supports many youth and community programs like I Play After School. So while we celebrate those who are San Antonio's all-time best, we are also holding a benefit auction. It's happening online right now with more than $500,000 in items. So get ready to make your bid. Well, we've inducted many legends over the years, including perhaps the greatest player to ever play his high school basketball here in San Antonio. Shaquille O'Neal was inducted back in 2016. He, of course, led Cole High School to a state title in 1989, and Shaq brought the house down when I switched tuxedo jackets with him to show just how big he really is. Let's go into the vault. He can make you feel infinitesimal. I'm 5'10", 185 pounds, normal human size. Let me see your jacket. Yeah. I'm going to show you what it's like to, again, I'm not 5 years old. Can't get that on. Remember Tom Hanks in Big? At the end of Big, don't rip it. Turn around. Every Monday morning, Shaq's dad, Sergeant Phil, would be at our doorstep at Channel 4 to get a VHS copy of his highlights that we would run the night before. We miss Sergeant Phil more than you know. He was a great man. But I know what Sergeant Phil did for you and what your mom did is why you're the guy you are today.
Yeah, it's a four-letter word what they did. It's called belt, B-E-L-T. But my mom is here. Stand up, Mommy. My favorite person in the world. Love you. My sister, Aisha, Latifah, brother Jamal. Stand up. Before we get started, are there any lawyers in the house? Raise your hand if you're a lawyer. Because when me and the mayor was taking pictures, she grabbed my butt. I want to file suit. You saw that, right? The mayor grabbed my butt. I'm suing San Antonio. I'll see you in court, Mayor. I don't believe this.
Ivy Taylor will never live that down. So who will it be this year? Well, let's kick off the class of 2020 with our first induction. But first, here's one of our tri-chairs of the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame, Mayor Ron Nirenberg.
Hello, I'm Mayor Ron Nirenberg. In these challenging times, sports unite us. We all love cheering for our favorite teams, whether that's our beloved Spurs or our kids' soccer club. The City of San Antonio is pleased to join San Antonio Sports and the Express News as a partner in our community's Sports Hall of Fame. It's our opportunity to honor the individuals and teams that have thrilled us and united us with their talent and dedication. I congratulate the class of 2020, and I'm happy we can come together in this way to celebrate you. And I encourage everyone to support the youth sport programs that are so vital to inspiring our children. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mayor. Our first inductee is one of the most influential figures in the history of our city. Brigadier General Robert McDermott is best known as the CEO of USAA, but his impact on the San Antonio sports scene is immeasurable. An educator, business pioneer, and most of all, civic leader. We welcome Robert F. McDermott into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame.
When Brigadier General Robert McDermott retired from the Air Force in 1968, he set his sights on San Antonio. the CEO of USAA, becoming a powerful and influential force for change in the Alamo City. A passion for sports, he also set his sights on his beloved San Antonio Spurs.
He, like Red, was another highly motivated individual who suffered no fools, expected people to do their jobs, highly organized, and the standard that he set, for a culture, for an organization was something that, we've tried to follow ever since that time.
General McDermott, as chairman of the Silver and Black from 1993 to 96, not only hired Greg Popovich to be the club's general manager, he also put together a group of 22 investors in 1993 to buy the club and keep them here in San Antonio.
If you go anywhere in the world and you say you're from San Antonio, they go, "Oh, the Spurs." So he knew what a major impact it would have should they have left.
Setting up an incredible run. Also a mentor to so many, including Hall of Famer David Robinson.
Man, I cannot even tell you the impact that it's had on me, that he had on me. I mean, obviously the city, but me personally, helping me grow into a man. I love him, I loved him, and now I love the family because of him.
His impact on the city he moved to back in 1968 cannot be measured. From USAA to the Spurs to helping create the Alamo Bowl, General McDermott, a powerful and influential force for change right here in the Alamo City.
He would be turning 100 this year, and he's been gone for 14 years. And to be remembered in the community in such an incredible and special way is very, very meaningful for all of us.
General McDermott passed away in 2006 at the age of 86, and accepting on his behalf is his daughter, Betsy Gwynn, who offered some remembrances of her father's impact.
Daddy would be 101 today, and so this happened long ago, and it is such a great honor that the city of San Antonio and the Sports Hall of Fame still remembers his contribution, and it just warms my heart. And it's so wonderful for me to be able to have my grandchildren see this and all of the McDermott children and grandchildren. So it's a tremendous honor that he is still acknowledged for his contributions many, many years ago. He just believed so much how important it was for the entire community of San Antonio to gather around all walks of life and support the Spurs. They were such a uniting and continue to be a uniting factor in bringing the entire city of San Antonio together. Much the way Fiesta does for a week, the Spurs do all year round. And he just felt very strongly that everyone in the city be included in celebrating our wonderful team. He loved the Spurs and just loved San Antonio so much and would be so, so honored. This would probably be one of the greatest honors of his life, other than his family.
General Robert McDermott, loved by so many. And when we come back, we will recognize the 2020 and 2021 San Antonio Express News Sportswomen and Sportsmen of the Year. So stay with us.
You're watching the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute, presented by HEB.
Welcome back. Every year, the San Antonio Express News selects a sportswoman and sportsman of the year. Here is Express News publisher Mark Medici with the honorees.
Hi everybody, I'm Mark Medici. I'm the publisher of the San Antonio Express News. I'm really excited to be with you today. Sports is part of our DNA at the Express News. We've been covering sports journalism in this town for 150 years. Today we're partnering with the City of San Antonio and SA Sports to bring you the 2020 and 2021 Sportswoman and Sportsman of the Year at this great event hosted by the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. I'm so proud of all of the nominees and all of the incredible athletes that we get to review and select from. Once again, have a great day, and congratulations to the 2020 and 2021 winners of the Sportswoman and Sportsman of the Year.
The 2020 Express News Sportsman of the Year is Mario Barrios. Barrios became the first San Antonio boxer to win a world title in 25 years when he won the WBA World Super Lightweight title in 2019. Throughout 2020 and 2021, Barrios continued to establish himself as a main event draw, endearing him to San Antonio and revitalizing the sport of boxing in the city. A true San Antonio hero, congratulations, Mario Barrios. The 2020 Express News Sportswoman of the Year is Treva Corrales. Corrales cemented her legacy in San Antonio when she led the Judson Rockets to the 6A state championship. It was the first area team to win a UIL girls basketball state title. She later built on her own success by becoming the athletic director at Judson ISD. A true competitor, congratulations to Treva Corrales. The 2021 Express News Sportsman of the Year is Kellen Monde. The Texas A&M quarterback led the Aggies to a 9-1 record last season, throwing more than 2,000 yards and scoring 19 touchdowns. But Monde's influence might have been even greater off the field, where he became a leader for the Black Lives Matter movement, promoting unity and change on campus. A leader on and off the field, congratulations, Kellen Monde. The 2021 Express News Sportswoman of the Year is Jenny Carnes. Carnes' willingness to accept challenges reached legendary status earlier this year when the NCAA took the drastic step of holding the 64-team women's basketball tournament in San Antonio to reduce the chances of COVID-19. Carnes didn't blink. She instead led the charge in organizing the unprecedented event. A humble but mighty driver of championship-level events. Congratulations, Jenny Carnes.
Congratulations to all the winners, and we've got some great auction items to help support the many youth initiatives of San Antonio sports. First up, a unique chance to go behind the scenes with Jenny Carnes to see exactly how you put on a 64-team tournament and a Final Four in just a few short months.
Ever wondered what happens behind the scenes when we host a men's or women's NCAA Final Four? Here's your chance to get the real skinny on the stuff that never makes it on the news. You and your group of 20 will join Jenny Carnes, San Antonio Sports COO, for a hosted reception at the Red Berry Mansion. Your women's Final Four package includes bench chairs, VIP backpacks filled with merchandise, and an official rack with 12 game balls.
And we want to thank the PM Group, who donated a media package to this year's auction, and Generations Federal Credit Union, who contributed $75,000 for this item. To bid on items you've seen here and many others, visit sanantoniosports.org. There are over $500,000 worth of items. The auction closes Sunday, September 26th at 5 p.m.
I'm Dean Radlow, Chairman of San Antonio Sports Board of Directors and General Manager of News 4 San Antonio, Fox San Antonio, and the CW35. Each year, San Antonio Sports presents its Salute Award to a company or organization that has supported its mission in an extraordinary manner. This year, we honor Red McCombs and Marcia Shields. Through the generosity of the McCombs Foundation, San Antonio Sports has been able to expand its I Play After School program to 58 elementary schools and help more kids overcome the financial barriers to learn and participate in 5 different sports during the school year. Thank you, Red and Marcia. We also honor Dr. Steve Niven, Chair of the Department of Economics at St. Mary's University. Steve has conducted numerous economic impact studies and market research that has helped San Antonio sports successfully land major events such as the NCAA Final Four. Steve, thank you so much for your excellence and generosity.
Thanks, Dean. Up next, we're going back into the vault for a very memorable moment, and we induct boxer Mike Ayala into the Hall.
You're watching the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute, presented by HEB.
Welcome back. One of my favorite parts of the Hall of Fame night is to see the honorees thank those who helped them get here. One very memorable moment came when the champ, Jesse James Leha, paid tribute to his wife, Lisa, his 8th grade sweetheart. Let's go into the vault to the year 2009.
Lisa's been, for 30 years that we've been together and 20 years of marriage. She's been my best friend, she's been an incredible wife, and she's been an incredible mother. And I want to thank you, Lisa. She's always kept me grounded, no matter what, throughout my whole career, she kept me grounded. I won the world title in 1994, excuse me. I get home and I have that belt around my waist, and we just get back from Vegas, and I'm like, I'm on top of the world. And you know, obviously my oldest son was young at that point, and he, you know, Lisa, I had my belt and I'm proud, I have my kid, and she said, James, someone needs to take the trash out. Now, you can't tell the champ to take the trash out. And she said, you know what, I'm the champ in this house. And she still is.
Ah, yes, Lisa Leha, the best. James Leha was inspired by our next inductee. Tonight, it's an honor that Mike Ayala thought had long passed and would never come. More than 40 years after he inspired a city, Mike Ayala is a San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer.
Boxing's been all my life, ever since I was, I never really had a choice because I was introduced by my dad. I started training when I was 4 years old, and from then on, it's just been a big roller coaster ride.
A roller coaster indeed. In the 70s, the boxing Ayalas were boxing in San Antonio. Mike, a two-time national Golden Gloves champion, first in the 16-year-old division. There was only one problem. He was 15.
And my grandmother, may she rest in peace. She worked for Santa Rosa Hospital, and she got me a birth certificate. And my father, made me 16 years old, and I entered. I was one of the youngest champions ever to win the National Golden Gloves at the age of 15.
Not once, but twice. And then became an AAU champion, which is another national title, and that's unheard of. That type of fighter is like what Mike Tyson does, what Oscar De La Hoya did, what Sugar Ray Leonard did, and Mike Ayala was winning those as well. He won the 1976 Olympic trials, but turned pro instead. Went 45-6, won 2 NABF titles, and was the #1 contender in the world against Danny Little Red Lopez. It was a fight at Hemisphere Arena that people still remember, and in fact, it inspired a future world champ. And I saw the tenacity that Mike had, the eagerness to try to win every single round, and that was something that said, wow, I just love the atmosphere, I love the fight game, and Mike had some of the reason why I turned pro and why I became a fighter. It's no secret that after triumph, there was also tribulations. But boxing turned out to be a metaphor for Mike Ayala's life. Get knocked down, but always get back up.
Like I tell kids, I was a drug addict. You know what I mean? And you sometimes make a mistake, but you got to come back. And I'm pretty lucky. To be clean, to do well, to help kids, have a good job, got a trade, and I'm very happy about that. But you just got to work hard at it, and just change. Your life can change.
Well deserved. He deserves this. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Mike Ayala continues his love for boxing, teaching kids lessons in the ring and in life. And we got his thoughts on his induction as part of the class of 2020.
Great honor to be here, to be inducted. And I think it's a great inspiration for the young kids to look at this. And it's a beautiful thing for me. Thank you. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. For the people to recognize me and to accept me, through all the trials and tribulations of my life, it's great, to feel their love and everything for the city of San Antonio. It's a great feeling. Oh, I'd like to thank my dad. He's passed on. My mother that I take care of, and to all the people of San Antonio that believed in me and backed me up and still do. And I can't say how much I'm grateful and I appreciate their love and their affection for me, and really appreciate and I'm very thankful for their affection and for their support. When I was fighting as an amateur, the Golden Gloves, and I see these young kids coming up, it takes me back. And sometimes I regret some mistakes I made, but like pencils have erasers. You erase them, you correct your mistakes, and you keep on going. And that's what the message I try to give the kids. You know what I mean? To not to give up, to keep on going. And it's a great honor, and again, I can't say enough to the great thanks I have for being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Mike. Volunteers are the backbone of all the events at San Antonio Sports. So congratulations to Babette Coates and Deirdre Murphy, the 2019 and 2020 Volunteers of the Year. Coming up, San Antonio Sports' commitment to the iPlay After School program, how it's changing lives in San Antonio, next.
You're watching the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute, presented by HEB.
Welcome back. San Antonio Sports is doing great things for kids, including the iPlay After School program. Every kid deserves the chance to play, right? Well, with iPlay After School, they're getting that chance. We all want the best for our kids, but in today's world, there are lots of challenges. Peer pressure made worse by social media, and less activity with video games replacing playing outside with friends. There's more time left unsupervised at home with both parents working. We know that involving kids in sports helps them on so many levels, but too often, kids from underserved neighborhoods simply can't afford to participate. That's where iPlay After School comes in. The innovative iPlay After School program takes place in elementary schools in the most underserved areas of San Antonio. iPlay After School ignites a love of sport in 3rd through 5th graders while also teaching them life lessons about active living, good nutrition, and strong personal character. iPlay provides the opportunity for students to learn the fundamentals in soccer, track, volleyball, basketball, and tennis. Every child in the program also receives a free t-shirt, shorts, backpack, and new tennis shoes. The reality is that kids from low-income homes participate at less than half the rate of affluent families.
We can't talk about all these great things that happen from being involved in athletics and then limit it to the people who can only pay for it.
Along with learning about sports, iPlay kids are taught life lessons about active living, personal character, and the tools to become successful in life, like teamwork and respect.
I'm proud of my grades. I'm proud of my behavior.
We see absenteeism rates go down and math and reading scores go up for those who are in the program.
There's a clear correlation between participating in youth sports and career success in life. Research has confirmed that youth sports spills over into occupationally advantageous traits. Particularly for girls, we know that 90% of high-level female executives played sports.
It's not just all about playing the sport. It's about learning the core values of the healthy eating and all that's going to go into play as they grow to be young adults.
No kid deserves to be stuck on the sidelines, but they can't do it alone. Thousands of kids right here in our own community are looking to us for help. And with iPlay After School, they're getting it. Support iPlay After School, coaching kids into life champions. All right, I know what you're asking. So how can we help? Well, just take out your phone, go to sanantoniosports.org, and at the top, you'll see a button that says Donate to iPlay. Click it and just follow the prompts. We want to raise an extra $25,000 for these kids tonight. Here's a couple of more great packages up for bids.
Experience the Formula One United States Grand Prix and Red McComb's personal founding owner suite in the main grandstand. This is your shot at 2 tickets to the 3-day event at the Circuit of Americas, Austin, Texas. The spectacle takes place October 24th through the 26th, 2021. Guests receive VIP treatment and a behind-the-scenes tour. Your tickets include entrance to all events that weekend, including the headliner concerts featuring 21 Pilots and Billy Joel.
6 lucky fishermen will enjoy 3 days and 2 nights at the Shoalwater Bay Club in Port O'Connor. Drive in Friday afternoon, fish all day Saturday, and check out Sunday as the guests of Silver Eagle Beverages Budweiser. Experienced fishing guides will transport your group to the beautiful bay waters for a great fishing expedition. A professional chef is on hand to provide all your meals, a true culinary delight. You must confirm a mutually agreed upon date between April and October 2022.
All right, so don't forget to bid. Just scan that QR code that you see on your screen. And up next, we induct a true trailblazer, Lynn Hickey. Stay with us.
You're watching the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute, presented by HEB.
Welcome back. From a player to a coach, to breaking the glass ceiling in the NCAA, and oh yeah, to starting a Division I football program from scratch. It's time to honor San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer, Lynn Hickey.
A pioneer in collegiate athletics, Lynn Hickey made her mark in San Antonio, starting in 2000 as the athletic director at UTSA.
The program was starting at ground level.
She's incredibly smart, but incredibly likable too.
She's persuasive, and she doesn't take no for an answer.
She became the second female ever to be selected for the NCAA Division I men's basketball committee.
I was going to outwork everybody.
Her connections helped San Antonio land future Final Fours in basketball and volleyball.
I don't think we would have been as successful with our 20-year run of NCAA events and Final Fours if not for the relationship that she had with the NCAA.
What we were able to bring to this community was just outstanding. It looks like the future's going to hold that for a long, long time.
During her tenure at UTSA, she took the Roadrunners to new heights, transitioning from the Southland Conference to the WAC, to membership in Conference USA.
That was an amazing feat. I don't think most of us, probably take it for granted that it's a Division I program.
Her crowning achievement, creating UTSA's football program from scratch.
You had this campus that was dying for an identity.
She had a game plan. She had a business plan. She stuck to that plan, and believe you me, she executed that plan.
It gave a new perception of what the university was. It was like a movie that had been set up. We pulled all parts of the city together to support UTSA football. It wasn't just on one side of the city. It was the city's team, a day that I will never forget.
Lynn Hickey's impact is still felt today, and her legacy will live forever as a member of the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame.
I think she made a lasting contribution to San Antonio and Central Texas.
Just so happy for her and so well-deserved.
Congratulations, Lynn. You deserve this honor. You'll be listed with all Hall of Fame members in the Alamodome, and you're the one who brought the home team to the Alamodome.
We are all so proud of Lynn. Here's what it means to her to join the class of 2020.
It's a very humbling experience. And quite honestly, when you look at everyone that's been inducted into this prestigious Hall of Fame, it's a little overwhelming that I'm a part of that group. And congratulations to the other inductees this evening. But it's just a great honor, and one that I owe a tremendous number of people for helping me get to this point. And through my career, I have been extremely blessed. God has set me on a great path, and He's surrounded me with unbelievable support. So I have a lot of gratitude for this honor. Don't know how I can ever thank my husband, Bill, and my daughter, Lauren, for putting up with me and being my best advisors, but but we went through the wars together. So just very appreciative of that. And I have a great set of brothers who ironically think I've lived in a man's world career-wise, and I grew up with 4 younger brothers. I was the only girl. So they set the path for me. They helped me get ready for this. And just all the staff that was around me, that gave me support, and our student athletes, man, what a great honor to work with them, and never can say enough to Dr. Romo for giving me the opportunity to even be in San Antonio. That's the experience I'm going to remember, that just being able to be at UTSA, to have the opportunity to help build that program with unbelievable people and support around me is something that I will never forget. I have had the opportunity to be a part of things in the middle of change that when I was born was never even a dream of most girls and women. So the relationships and the friends that it has given me, I will remember forever.
Congratulations, Lynn. You know how much we all think of you. What a trailblazer. Well, the auction's heating up. 2 more great packages right here.
Escape to the Port Aransas coast for 6 days and 5 nights in Richard Ojeda's private beach compound that sleeps 2 families, 14 total, or 4 couples. The bar, pantry, and refrigerator are completely stocked. The home is just yards from the beach, featuring a private pool, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, and hot tub. Also included, 2 days fishing on Richard's Mayak Extreme boat. He'll even cook 2 nights dinners. This package is donated by Richard Ojeda. If you're ready to replace an air conditioning system, this donated 3 to 5 ton AC system will replace your existing system. Good for a residential gas or heat pump system and does not include ductwork. This special package is donated by Bayer Air Conditioning and Heating, San Antonio's largest and most reliable residential AC company.
All right, make your bid. Don't forget, scan the QR code or go to sanantoniosports.org for the links to the auction. Hey, welcome back. Let's continue to look at these amazing auction items, from fine wine to a trip to Cabo. It's your chance to bid.
This may be the best charity wine auction offering ever, featuring 44 bottles of incredible wines, including Chateauneuf de Pape, Opus One, Dow, Sassicaia, Gaia Contiesa, Camus Special Selection, and Silver Oak Napa. There are several superb Chardonnays, including Crécheret, Rombauer Carneros, and the best of the bubbly, Don Winard Rosé, Gosset Célébris, and Tétranger. Many of these are hard-to-find treasures that you deserve. See the full list and vintages at the auction at sanantoniosports.org. For 1 week, make unforgettable memories at the 5-star Pueblo Bonito Sunset Beach Golf and Spa Resort overlooking the Pacific Ocean in sun-kissed Cabo San Lucas. Your executive suite features more than 1,000 square feet of living space, including kitchenette, dining area, living area with a sofa sleeper, and a private bedroom furnished with a king bed or 2 queens. This getaway includes round-trip airfare for 4 in coach or 2 in first class. Winner's choice.
All right, coming up next, he led one of the greatest teams in the history of San Antonio high school sports. We induct Stan Bonewitz Jr. straight ahead.
You're watching the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute, presented by HEB.
Welcome back. Time to induct another honoree. I still get goosebumps thinking about those 1995 East Central Hornets, arguably the best high school basketball team in our city's history. And the guy who made it all go was San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer Stan Bonewitz. Not the dad, the coach, he's already in. This is the son. I still get to call him Stanley.
Jackson, Bonewitz, 3
I mean, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. It's the greatest moment of my life, without a doubt.
For Stanley Bonewitz, basketball is life. You could say it's in his blood. The son of San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer and legendary coach Stan Bonewitz, young Stan had the best seat in the house from a very early age.
I think just being a lucky observer, to be honest with you, being able to be in the right place, right time.
He watched, and it was all, registering. Plus, they kind of laid the groundwork back in the middle 80s. And I guess he and his teammates in 95 kind of brought it to that max level.
It was a season like no other. Number 1 in the state from wire to wire, a perfect 35-0 record, a top 5 national ranking by USA Today, all culminating with one of the greatest displays of high school basketball ever seen against Dallas Carter in the championship game.
And here comes Bonewitz. Bonewitz weaving inside. Swish!
It was kind of cool to do it that way and do it in a style that kind of represented who we were. in the moment you enjoy it, but there was so much time and so much work and so much effort that you had put into it as a team, not just myself, but our group. And to actually do it, it was surreal.
Bonewitz went on to Texas Tech, where he left as the all-time assist leader. He's still second all-time in Big 12 history in three-point shooting, and lived out his basketball dream to the fullest.
It was a great 4 years. You know, my first year we got to the NCAA tournament. We played in the Georgia Dome in the round of 16 against Georgetown and Allen Iverson in front of 36,000 people. And so it's all stuff that, again, in that moment, you don't realize how lucky you are.
His basketball life continues. He's been the head coach at Concordia for 18 seasons, and now joins Dad as the first father and son ever to both be inducted into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame.
There were a lot of guys who I feel like, having been in the situation, born into what I was born into and surrounded by what I was surrounded by, would have had the same success. I was just blessed that I was kind of raised in the environment I was raised in that put me in this position. So it's an honor, and I'm really excited about it.
The Bonewitz, Van Landingham, and Carson family, very dear to our family, so it's a special honor to get Stan Jr.'s thoughts about tonight's induction.
You know, it's special. I think, you know, to grow up in a family, in a house where basketball and sports in general were such a big part of who we were and what we did, and to see, you know, the legacy he created during his time as a coach, and to as a kid, to look forward to just having the opportunity to play, you know, at the, you know, in the East Central program, and to play for him, to be able to then go through that and be fortunate enough to be a part of a team that won a state championship, his first, and so to celebrate that achievement was, again, at the time, hard to grasp because I was in it, but I knew it was something special. And now, all these years later, to be able to go in following him is, you know, if I was going to go in, that's how I'd want it to be, obviously. Without a doubt, it's like, man, this is from like 1985, 84 to 90. That's 12 years of work put in by a lot of people, a lot of players, a lot of individuals that came before us that we learned from, both, again, by watching, by observing, by being at practices, and just hoping one day we could get out there and fulfill and live up to the expectations that were set by those players before us. So, you know, as a voting member now of the Hall of Fame, I see the 95 teams on the ballot. I would almost, you know, prefer them go in, and then, you know, if I was going to go follow, but, you know, I don't obviously control that. But it's hopefully something that down the road will come, because I'd love to see those guys recognized and thought of and appreciated in the same way that I'm blessed to be able to have right now.
That 95 team definitely worthy. Up next, we've waited almost 50 years for this night. It was David versus Goliath back in 1972, a tribute to those Trinity Tigers. Next.
You're watching the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute, presented by HEB.
Welcome back. You know, it is hard to explain just how big Trinity tennis was in the early 1970s. They had future pros who beat guys like Jimmy Connors and Stan Smith. But while still in college, they made history. And tonight, the 72 Trinity Tigers make the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame.
I really didn't have Trinity on my radar at all. I was walking into my high school counselor's office, and I happened to see one of those little brochures that was pinned on his cork board, Trinity University, University in the Sun, and I thought, San Antonio. And then I thought, Dick Stockton and Brian Gottfried and Bob McKinley are going there, and wow, that might be something to think about.
That group of players became the 1972 NCAA National Champions. Bobby McKinley, Pancho Walthall, John Berman, Howard Butt III, Brian Gottfried, Paul Gherkin, Bill McGowan, and Dick Stockton went 27-0 during the 72 season. Led by San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame coach Clarence Mabry and assistant John Newman, this was a team with its eyes on the prize.
We had a goal when we came as freshmen that we were going to win the NCAA title. And we were third as freshmen, second as sophomores, second as juniors, and then finally did it in 1972.
Trinity tennis matches in that era were rowdy, especially when number 1 Trinity played number 2 USC.
When that match occurred on Saturday, it was like nothing that I could possibly describe, the electricity. And I think every student that went to school there came to the match. I think we had 3,000 people that were there at this tiny stadium that only seated 600.
At the national championship tournament, it was Stockton, Gottfried, McKinley, and Gherkin who clinched the title. But they'll tell you it was the whole team that won.
Because of their inner love for the game and love to excel. And love to excel the right way. That's what made them all champions. They're all more than worthy of this award.
Accepting on behalf of the team is Dick Stockton, who, with his teammates, really put Trinity on the map.
It's a big deal for Trinity. Going into that particular season, the NCAA Division I tournament had been won by either USC, meaning the University of Southern California, or UCLA for 13 straight years. And, we thought we had a pretty good team, and we got great support from the university, from administration, and the other students who supported us in our matches. And it was just, for a tiny school like Trinity to finally topple those big boys from California. I mean, it was a great thrill for us, but it probably, to be honest, was something that was well received in college tennis nationwide. And believe it or not, it came down to our last day as amateur tennis players. We were either going to do it that day or it wasn't going to happen, because 48 hours later, 3 of us were playing as professionals in England. And so, it was there was a lot of pressure on us, and I'm honored to accept this honor on behalf of all of us up here. And it was not a one-man show by any means. It was all of us involved, 8 players, a coach, and an assistant coach, and it was, for me personally, it was the biggest thrill I had in tennis. And I hadn't even turned pro yet, but it was an amazing experience, and we all still love to relive it whenever we see each other. I mean, we just, our eyes light up when we see each other, because we know what we did was so special. And, it was just an incredible ride, an incredible 4 years. And I think we all loved every single minute of it.
How great is that? 50 years later and still the emotion still there. Hey, congratulations to the class of 2020, all very worthy. And remember, the class of 2022 will be announced in just a few weeks, and their induction is scheduled for April the 23rd, 2022. And remember, the Hall of Fame auction is open and will remain open until 5 p.m. on Sunday, September 26th. So many great items. And remember, it all goes to support San Antonio sports and everything they're doing that's so great in this community, like the iPlay After School program. A special thanks to Russ Bookbinder and Dean Radla of San Antonio Sports and the Express News in the city of San Antonio. It's always an honor to be a part of this great San Antonio tradition. And for all my hardworking teammates here at News 4 who have been a part of this one, till next time, good night and God bless.
The San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame Tribute is presented by HEB and brought to you by Michelob Ultra, Valero, Thomas J. Henry, USAA, AT&T, the PM Group, Corporate Travel Planners, and Sinclair San Antonio.